This is Brian. Brian the lion. Brian lives here, in Great Britain. Brian's house is on Main Street. That's one of the most common street names in the country. Main Street has a post office, a corner shop and a pub. You'll find these in lots of towns and villages up and down Great Britain. I wonder what Brian the lion is doing today. Oh look, Brian is very excited. He's booked a weekend break in London. In Britain, lots of people enjoy going away for the weekend. I suppose it's like a mini holiday. To make the journey to London, Brian will need to travel on lots of different types of public transport. What's that, Brian? You've been reading all about the do's and don'ts for travelling on public transport? Gosh, isn't that smart? You will have a splendid journey. And here is the taxi to take you to the train station. What's that? In Britain, there are no rules about where you sit in a taxi. Ah, so you can choose to sit in the front or the back depending on how you're feeling. Brian is telling the taxi driver about his weekend break in London. It sounds like the taxi driver has been to London before. He's telling Brian all about the best places to visit.
London, Tower Bridge, Houses of Parliament.
This is the train station. Isn't it busy? It's a good job Brian doesn't have to queue for his ticket. He bought his ticket online before he left, and he's written down the special reference number. There we go. Much quicker. What's that? The stations are labelled with a number and a letter. I see. The number tells you which platform to go to. The letter which part of the platform when you get there. Yes, Brian, the London train is at platform 3A. To get to the platforms, you have to put your ticket into the barrier. If your ticket is valid, the gate will open. Here we are, platform 3A. Brian is being very polite. He lets all the people getting off at this station leave the train before climbing aboard to find his seat. Brian has reserved a seat in the quiet carriage. You like sitting in the quiet carriage so that you can read a book during the journey, don't you? Oh no, it looks like someone is sitting in Brian's reserved seat. What's that, Brian? You're going to apologise to the lady and ask if you can have your seat back. Oh, good idea.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, of course. I can fit it for you tomorrow if you like. Oh no, I'll do it for half the price. Don't worry.
What is it, Brian? Yes, you're right. It's very rude to talk on your phone in the quiet carriage. But what are you going to do about it? Oh, you're going to tell your friends online. How very British of you, Brian.
The next station call will be London King's Cross, where this service terminates. Please ensure you have all your belongings with you before leaving the train.
Brian has left the train and is waiting to catch a bus to his hotel. There are already lots of people gathered around the bus stop, so Brian politely joins the back of the queue. Oh look, he's leaving a gap between him and the person in front. That's very polite, and gives the rest of the people in the queue lots of personal space. Yes, Brian, that was very rude. And you can't even mention it to him. He's listening to loud music through his headphones. It's always polite to join the back of the queue instead of barging in. Isn't that right? It's also polite to have your money or travel card ready, so that you can pay quickly and not hold up the other passengers. Don't spend time rummaging around in a big bag. Oh dear, it looks like this bus is very full. Brian did the right thing by letting those in front of him in the queue board the bus first, but now there aren't many seats left. What's that, Brian? Nobody is sitting in the seat at the front of the bus? That's right. Perhaps you can sit there. You're sitting in the space designated for wheelchair users. What are you going to do? Well done, Brian. You did the polite thing. Soon we'll be arriving at your stop. You'd better get ready. What's that, Brian? It's always polite to say thank you to the driver when you get off the bus. You're right, that is polite. This must be the hotel where Brian is staying for the weekend. Hello, Brian. Aren't you glad you finally made it to your hotel bedroom? It was a long journey, wasn't it? Oh dear, someone sounds very sleepy. What's that, Brian? You're looking forward to exploring London tomorrow? And you're going to see all the sights? Well, you'd better get some sleep then. You've got a busy day ahead of you tomorrow. There we go. Much better. Because after a long journey, there's nothing like settling in for a good night's sleep. Good night, Brian the Lion.